Okay, I've been threatening to make a YouTube video for the longest time, and here it is. And forever, I could not figure out what I was going to talk about. But after being on Twitter for a little while this morning, I think I'm going to talk about how I feel about the obsession with the Chris Brown Rihanna situation. Not that situation because I don't know. I can't get into this shit because they to me they are just some kids. First of all, I don't listen to their music. I'm not a fan. I'm 36 years old. My 16, well, almost 16-year-old daughter, she's a fan. And so I can't confess any loyalty to either of them for whatever reason. But I'm a big fan of fairness whenever possible. And while life in general isn't fair, there are things and situations that need to be considered based on just who or what a person is at whatever time in their life. And right now, I think it's totally unfair what's going on with them. Um, I hate how people are jumping on Chris for beating that child up, beating up Riri. It's obvious that somebody beat her up, and he was the only one there, and I doubt that she beat herself up. So I'm thinking he beat her up. Okay, he beat her up. None of us were there, and all we have is his side and her side, and somewhere in between is the truth, as all and with all situations like this. But even with him having beat that girl up like he did, I always think about him as a boy, as not quite a man, but not a little boy. At 19 years old when he honestly, with an adolescent brain, is going to do a lot of things that make no sense. Teenagers are notorious, and this is proven with brain research and all this kind of stuff, that they have poor impulse control. They lack sound judgment. And with all that testosterone pumping through his body, and he hasn't quite learned how to control it yet, he more than likely, with that combination of perfect storm for somebody to get beat up. With that and the fact that that's nature. His nurture part, reportedly wasn't all that good either. So, but I don't think he should be judged and condemned and all these things for the rest of his life for something bad he did when he was 19 years old. If the majority of us were judged on the bad stuff we did as teenagers, we would be nothing now. We would have like no future, no prospects or anything. Somebody had to forgive us, so why can't we look at this child and judge it for exactly what it is? A teenager who made a bad decision, point blank. I'm not excusing him or even giving him an excuse. That's just what it was. It just was a teenager who made a bad decision. And I do feel bad for Rihanna because it can't be, it has to be devastating to have like trust and love betrayed through abuse. But she needs to understand, like, when she looks back at the situation in 20 years, when she's like, around my age or maybe a little older, she'll understand it for what it was. It was horrible, but it's part of growing up, you know, that you run into bad situations, you learn from them, and you heal. This is probably one of the worst things that has ever happened to her in her young life, and hopefully she never has to experience it again. But this polarization of this over the situation is sickening to me because neither of them are anywhere near the people that they're going to be eventually. They are very, very, very young, the both of them. And to have all this, discussion and have all this responsibility thrust on one and thrust on the other, and everybody's, demonizing him or either demonizing her for talking about it or suspecting that she hit him first. I don't doubt that she hit him first. Honestly, I think she did because she seemed a little sassy to me. Does that mean she should have got beat up? No. Do I think it's good that she hit him first? No. But these are the things that happen between people with an adolescent brain. So, cut all. I'm not gonna tell y'all what to do. I want to, what I want, but I hate that people are jumping on sides like this. Please understand the situation for what it is. If was abuse, but it was the two very young people in in a situation more than likely neither of them were properly prepared to deal with at the end, at the conclusion of it all. So that's my opinion on the whole thing with these two kids. And yes, they are children to me. I'm sorry. You know, if my mom and daddy hadn't, been around as much as they were, I probably could be Chris Brown's mama at 36 years old with him being as young as he is. So I mean, whatever, I'm not minimalizing the abuse, but come on, seriously, y'all gonna ride that boy like that? And y'all gonna ride her like that for talking about it? She gotta talk about it. I mean, shit, she got her ass beat. But yeah, that's what it is. And I am out on that note.